Hi there, it's Deb. Or should I say, hello, Dolly? We're talking about my Carol Channing doll. Isn't she a lovely doll? Look at the feathers. She is dressed in the Hello Dolly costume, made by F&B, the Legend series, 1997. Oh, it's got a little, I haven't read, once again, I haven't done my homework. I haven't read this. I don't know if you can. I'm not going to read it all, but it's just telling about Carol and a faux autograph. Oh, it's just, I love the costuming. Let me get her off her stand. Maybe you can see it better. She has snaps and all these sequins. Ah, she's missing one. Doggone it. Didn't notice that. A little, and her opera gloves. And that beautiful, beautiful, uplifting smile. That's what I remember of her as a child. That woman could just lift your spirits by looking at her. She was just such a joyful presence. And that face. It's not an exact, for those of you who don't know, that's a shame if you don't know Carol Channing. Look her up. But she always had that big smile and the big eyes. I read somewhere she was very nearsighted. That's how she started with the, and it just became one of her trademarks. She was, let's see, comes with a certificate of authenticity. Very fortunate to still have that. It's a limited edition F&B doll. She burst onto the Broadway stage in 1950, and her smile has lit up the Great White Way with a star that continues to grow in brilliance. Very true. Here's the box. Doesn't have much artwork on it. It's got her star, though. She does have a star on the Walk of Fame. Let's see. Let's talk about Carol Channing. Born January 31st, 1921. She died January 15th, 4 years ago today, the day I'm filming this, 2019. Yeah, 4 years ago. She credited her long life. She was just shy of her 98th birthday. And she credited her long life with her Christian Science faith. Her father was very active in Christian Science. She was born in Seattle, Washington, and her father was one half African American, which she didn't know until she started off to college. They felt they should tell her. Her mother said, in case you have a black baby. But thank goodness some things have changed. He was light-skinned, so he passed. That's what they called, for those of you who don't know, that's what they call African-American people who were light-skinned. They could pass as white and therefore have the opportunities that were only afforded to the white people. But anyway, let's see. Let's talk about her career. Hello, Dolly is her signature role for Broadway. She didn't get to play it in the movie. Apparently they thought Barbra Streisand would be the bigger draw, but that's showbiz, right? Let's see. She fell in love with the theater when she saw Ethel Waters on stage. Something we share. Ethel Waters is a huge influence on my life from a spiritual standpoint, but hers made her want to be on stage. And Ethel had that big smile and that radiant joy. Okay, let me cheat now. She's had 4 Tonys. I read somewhere 3, and then I read 4, but the one with the 4 supported it with which Tony she won. She has a Golden Globe and a Grammy. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Okay, she was married 4 times, and her first husband was Jewish, so she spoke Yiddish. Her last husband she met, he was her high school or junior high. I read 2 different accounts. I like to read more than one account. Anyway, he was her high school boyfriend, and she made reference to him in her biography, which is called just lucky, I guess. Anyway, I read her reference to him. They got back together and she married him. He was her last husband. Let's see. She had one son. She worked with George Burns, which was a perfect pairing because she could remind you of Gracie Allen. When she died, the Broadway lights dimmed. Her ashes were spread between 2 theaters in San Francisco. She was on President Nixon's enemy list. Enemy? How could this woman be your enemy? Oh, well, that's not for me to say. The first place that Jackie Kennedy took her children after President Kennedy's assassination was to see Hello, Dolly with Carol Channing. Talk about someone who could lift your spirits. And they met her backstage, and that's kind of a nice little story, I think. I think that's everything I had to tell you. She survived ovarian cancer. That's no small thing. She was a bright light in this world, and I'm glad I have a doll that represents this lady, because she was on television all the time when I was a kid, so she's a big deal. Big deal to me. Glad I have the doll, and I hope you enjoy this. She's vinyl, and her shoes are painted on, and you know, there's not a lot of articulation, but there doesn't need to be. Look at the little curls are still intact. I love that. So there it is. There's Carol Channing. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. And if you don't know her, Google her. She'll make you feel happy. That's a pretty good legacy. Okay, until next time, toodles.